Good morning and welcome to super early and actually kind of loud London. When this trip was originally conceived, I was planning on making this kind of a scavenger hunt type of situation where I was going to go around places from two of my favorite Guy Ritchie movies, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, and try to capture as many of those locations on camera as I can. There's about a dozen that I've been able to find, and we are right now at our number one. Unfortunately, as I was fiddling with the camera and with the mic, the lights went off. The bridge was very well lit up just 5 minutes ago, but now with sunrise approaching, sorry, not awake yet, 5 in the morning, lights have gone off, and so I'm not really sure how much this is going to show, but I'm going to go on the bridge anyways and show it from up top as well. So this is where the last scene of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels was shot, where Ian Flemyng's character is trying to dump the guns that were left to the crew following, you know, all of that happened in the movie by Vinnie Jones's character when he took all the money from them. So the guns turned out to be quite valuable. They were going out for auction. They were worth hundreds of thousands of pounds, but they were about to dump them because they were evidence in any number of crimes. And greed was about to win out when Eddie and Bacon and a lot of them were calling Tom to preserve them. So this, just about, is the area that he would have been hanging off of and trying to retrieve them. That's going to be really bad, and I'm going to try not to drop my camera here, but right around here somewhere. So I'll walk the length of the bridge to kind of like talk you through what else you're going to see here later today. But yeah, this is kind of unfortunate. It is a really spectacular bridge, especially when it's all lit up like this, and it's really nice from just here as well. But I'll miss the mark a little bit. So yeah, this is the Battersea Bridge, connecting Chelsea and like a newer, more built up recently areas. There's the Battersea Power Station, except I don't really see it. Well, somewhere over in the distance. And I'm not even sure if it's here or on the other side, and I don't want to get my phone out and look. But either way, it's really quite spectacular. There's one thing I've always loved to do, and this is my, I don't know, 15th maybe trip to London, not counting the time that we lived in Essex. Waking up early in the morning on the first day, as I inevitably do, because jet lag and because last night we actually slept for about 4 hours after we got to the hotel around noontime. It just doesn't let you get on the local schedule very easily, so I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night, and I woke up at 4 in the morning, and that was basically all she wrote. Couldn't fall back asleep at all. So I left my wife trying to catch up on her sleep, and hopefully she's able to do so, and figured I'd get a start on my day, kind of go back to the habits of old. London is just much like any other city, really. It's really nice to walk through when it's quiet. It's anything but right here, just because it's a major thoroughfare. But in Kensington Street, I just saw a fox, I saw a cat, and the robins were absolutely going at it with their morning song. Sunset's maybe about 45 minutes away. I'm not going to get to see much of it, just because it's really super cloudy, but hey, can't have everything, I guess. still a really nice walk, and it's a really nice way to see the city while the tourists haven't yet awakened. But yeah, quite a few cars. People going to work. It is Monday morning, so yeah. So that'll be it. This will be the Battersea Bridge. I'm gonna jaywalk and try not to get killed right now. Go to the other side, see if the view from here is any better. Yeah, it's unfortunate they did turn the lights off a little too early for my taste. But yeah, so step number one. Lots more to come later today. Most of it is going to be from East and Northeast London, but I'm also going to try, depending on whether or not I find the time, to stop by some less clustered locations where some of the houses, like Boris the Blade's house in Snatch, was shot. We'll see if I make it that far. I've got a pretty full day ahead of me, including a football match later this afternoon. West Ham are playing Newcastle. So, well, I guess we'll see at the end of the day what I end up getting up to. See you soon. Good late morning. After coming back to the hotel and falling asleep for 4 hours, I kind of ended up derailing my day a little bit, but we are at the next stop, and we are at the junction of Manor Place and Delverton Road in the Borough of Southwark in Kennington. It's not a particularly spectacular location, as you can probably see. It's more of kind of a sleepy residential area. There's a school here, there's what looks like a garden, but this is a scene from the very beginning of the film, and I'm talking about Snatch now, where Franky Four Fingers gets into the van that is waiting for him, where the master plan is hatched to rob him, take the diamond away by the Russians, with the eventual help of Boris the Blade. There's not a whole lot to see here, if I'm honest, and I think I'm going to be moving on to the next location pretty quickly, but worth looking at all the same since it is on the list. And I think the location of the van was probably right around here, if the screenshot is to be believed. And there was a shop called, what was it called? Let me double check my phone real quick. Morgan and Sons, that I think was along this road, but obviously now all been rebuilt. Okay, moving on. Staying for a minute with the Snatch theme, I will be moving back and forth between the two movie universes just because there's not a really good, easy way of alternating between them. But yeah, we are now almost next to, the famous Drowning Trout, where Bulletooth Tony has an interaction, rather interesting one, with Soul and his gang when they try to threaten him with a gun replica. Now, obviously, this is going to be very different from the outside. No longer a pub, although it might still be a pub. Well, yeah, there's taps there. It's a pub. The Jolly Gardeners. The color obviously used to be very different, but yeah, here we are. I like the setting too. It's perfectly like urban and gritty with council homes. The train line just up there, but it's augmented by the nice little flower wreath over the entrance. And I don't know if you can see it very well, it's hard to tell, but even the prices look pretty reasonable. I wonder how many people inside actually know that this is where that particular scene was shot. Yep, Jolly Gardeners. Okay, I think I'm going to be moving across the river. Maybe not, actually. Maybe sticking to Southwark, going to the Borough Market. I think around there were a couple of scenes as well. Just give you a little wide shot. And I'll move on. Well, here we are again in an incredibly hectic Borough Market, and it's actually going to be home to a couple of different scenes. So thankfully this one is pretty empty. This would be the alley where the police chase was filmed in the opening credits to Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. There are actually two locations for this, and we might try to sneak into another one. I think the other one may have been a little bit of a ways away from here though, but this, generally speaking, and I'm glad that it's empty because you can actually walk around it a little bit, is that location where Bacon and Eddie, having been spotted by the police, are running away, trying not to get caught selling stolen goods. Many of you will recognize this spot very easily. This is probably, so far apart from the Drowning Trout, the easiest one to pick up on. So this is the place right around here, is where both Eddie's and Doug's places are. Right about here. This is also the underpass where Tom calls in the cabbies to lure them away, asking to do airport. So this is going to be quite a familiar place, and then we're at Holborn now, amidst the jewelry row, and this is where Doug the Head's diamond store is. Right there, Premier House, 12 and 13. Right around the corner, where I'm going to go next, was the pub he went to after work. But this is where he chases off those young Hasidim boys. I'm going to let the camera roll just because I want to get just an overall feel for the place. I can't get through to the garden. Actually, no, yeah, I can. Right through here. The Olde Mitre. Yep. Just in here. Huh. Oh. There you have it. This one's probably going to be one of the more underwhelming locations. We're in Holborn, and this, actually, can probably even this boarded up place, maybe? I'll walk over and hopefully not get run over by an e-bike. No, so this is 46, I'm looking for 40. So not this. But right around here was JD's pub. JD, if you remember from Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, is Eddie's father. And we will see later the location where Harry, the gangster, had his shop, but this is right around where the pub is located that Harry wants so much as payment for Eddie's debt. Like I said, pretty underwhelming just because really nothing is happening here, apart from a somewhat shady looking massage parlor. But yeah, this is it. Just take a little walk down the road, and I think I'm going to take a pause here and head over to a completely different location in the northeast of London. Hello from Walthamstow. Took me about an hour to get here, and I'm running on a really tight schedule now because I need to make it to Buckhurst Hill within less than an hour actually. But I do Did need to show you Jesters, the site of the arcade owned by and run by Turkish, Jason Statham's character, the one that took a little bit of a pounding from Bricktop's boys when Mickey, played by Brad Pitt, once again had a mind of his own and refused to take a dive when asked. So this is where Turkish gets captured, tortured a little bit and just about killed, but Tommy shows up with a gun that we all know that he couldn't shoot, but looked intimidating enough anyways. So yeah, it's a bit, it's very much away from the beaten path. I'm going to be going back down to central London, the east side later, with a lot of the other sites, but at least this one is kind of true to its brand. It was an arcade, it was a gaming shop with poker machines and such, and hey, still has the same stuff. So at least it preserved the spirit of the location in the movies. Okay, signing off now. I will be back in the next couple of hours from Shoreditch with a bunch of other spots clustered around. I'm rapidly approaching the end of daylight, and the overcast weather, as you can see up above, isn't really helping, but I did want to make at least one last stop, maybe my penultimate stop of the day, at the Hackney Town Hall, which is featured towards the end of Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Those would be the steps that Alan Ford and Eddie, man, I still can't remember the name of the actor, but anyways, this is where Eddie exits the police station, which the Hackney Town Hall plays part of, and this is where they stand on the stairs as Tom Ford's character tells Eddie that his father, JD, wants to see him, which is when Eddie walks down the steps into JD's car. They have a little conversation, and then he is reminded of the fact that he is extremely lucky to be able to still walk and should take full advantage of that ability and not be driven to the bar, because that's where Alan Ford's character is going to sit. Okay, there's essentially one more stop that I can make today while it's still light out, and I'm going to go try and do that. Last but certainly not least stop of the day is the Royal Oak in Hackney, and this is the bar that served as Samoan Joe's, the Samoan pub where Eddie's friends hung out while he was getting cheated at cards at Harry's, or by Harry rather. I'm about to run off to the football match, West Ham against Newcastle. This is a little bit apropos as well, because if you've seen the film, and as if you recall, they went in to have their little confrontation with Rory Breaker over a football match as well. And if you know about the Easter egg of Guy Ritchie and a bunch of other people that had to do with the movie having their names mentioned by the announcer during the quote-unquote match that they were watching in the pub, well, then you are a much more in-depth fan than 95% of those who've seen the films. With that, signing off. I'm going to have to go to East London tomorrow because I have basically run out of daylight and out of time, because football starts in about an hour and a half, and I still want to get there while there's an opportunity to go to the shop, etc. But I have to say one thing. It may not look like much, especially in the dark, but the walk from the Hackney Central Station has been phenomenal. I've never been to this part of London before, and it just goes to show you that you can live in a place, or you can visit a place a dozen times or more, and you still discover something new every single time. And these types of scavenger hunt types of events are a great way to do it. So wholeheartedly recommend that if you have a connection to a city when you go there, build yourself a Google map and just walk around, take public transport as you need to. I usually like not to, but didn't really have a choice given the distances that I covered today. But definitely worth it as a way to see a city new or not so new anymore to you. Cool. I will see you later in the video and in real world terms tomorrow.